What's going on, guys? CasualSavage here, and this video I'm telling you everything I know so far about Apple iOS 8. To keep you guys up to date with the latest on iOS 8, the next major release of Apple's mobile OS, here's a quick checklist of everything I know so far. With iOS 8, the focus is likely to be on new apps, with reports suggesting several new entries to the fold. Now, I'll tell you a brief rundown of everything I know so far. So we'll start with the iOS 8 design. Most of the work redesign has done with iOS 7, and as such, I'm not anticipating any major changes to the iOS 8 interface user. Leaked screenshots of iOS 8 unearthed by 9 to Mac, although unsure, seem to support this notion, and in truth, the only major design alterations I expect Apple to make this year will be on OS X. The second thing we're going to talk about is Healthbook. Expected to among the key features of iOS 8, the Healthbook app, as first noted by 9 to 5 Mac, will offer Apple a way into the 3 trillion health market. Presented in a card-like interface much like Passbook, it will cover everything from heart rate to blood pressure levels and blood sugar levels, and could well be integrated into Apple's rumoured smartwatch endeavours. A fairly new report from Reuters affirms Apple's plan to jump into the health and fitness area. The report goes a little further and suggests that Apple's iOS 8 mobile operating system, tied with the elusive iWatch, will spawn a whole new fitness platform which will be based on the App Store model, giving people the access to tons of different fitness apps. Thirdly, I'm going to be talking about dedicated iTunes radio app. Apple launched iTunes Radio back with iOS 7, but despite the kicker of the famed iTunes Music Store, the service hasn't really taken off in the way that Apple would have liked. To give iTunes Radio a sense of identity and to help it gain recognition, Apple looks to create a standalone iTunes Radio app, as reported by 9 to 5 Mac, for its streaming music service, which would help it to compete with existing streamers already well established in the market. Fourth thing I'm going to be talking about is the removal of Game Center. The Game Center service has been generally successful since it was rolled out, and although it's no Xbox Live by any means, it helps gaming fans to communicate, build a profile, and collect achievements and organise multiplayer battles. But while Game Center's organisation serves the iDevice community well, the app itself is virtually redundant, and therefore, while their service will remain a part of iOS gaming experience, the Game Center icon is likely to disappear, as noted by 9 to 5 Mac from home screens. Fifth thing I'm talking about is probably one of my favourite, which is split screen multitasking. Apple brought multitasking to the fore with the release of iOS 4, and while the feature has remained largely unchanged over the years, iOS 7 finally brought forward card-style multitasking, which many has been asking for. The 3D implementation is well and good, but snapping two apps side by side for true multitasking is something which many iOS users, especially iPad, have been desire for. According to a report, iOS 8 will bring with it split screen multitasking to iOS devices. It's unclear whether the iPhone and iPod Touch would benefit from this feature, but it will treat for iPad users since it will take extreme advantage of every pixel on that beautiful Retina display. A designer, Sam Beckett, has shown off a rather amazing concept on how to split screen multitasking would work on Apple's tablet. Number 6 is HD audio. With the recent rumoured gaining of Beat Electronics, it's being rumoured that Apple will boost the audio capabilities of iOS by introducing HD audio to its lineup of mobile devices. And alongside the introduction of crystal clear audio capabilities, it's also being said that Apple is working on improved its earphones for an overall better audio experience, but don't expect Beat Audio branded Apple earphones anytime soon. Number 7, improved notifications, messages, voice memos, and CarPlay. Along with the process of adding and omitting key features, Apple will perform its usual housekeeping on some pre-existing elements of iOS. With iOS 7 we saw some marked improvements with multitasking, and in the same mood, expect to see some enhancements to features like notifications, messages, voice memos, and the newly introduced CarPlay. Number 8. New tips, iCloud apps and tools. According to one particular report, iOS 8 will include a bunch of new cloud-based features that will promote seamless communication between Apple's broad ranges of devices. As outlined in more detail in this report by 9to5Mac, large segments of both iOS and OS X will be tied into and based upon the cloud setup as time goes on, and with Apple also rolling out some new developer tools, this process looks to begin with iOS 8 software update. Number 9. Shazam-Powered music identification in Siri. Shazam, the famed tool that helps you discover the name of a particular song you might have heard on the radio or TV, looks to be the driving force behind a noteworthy new feature to be added to Siri. Essentially, the magical powers of Shazam will be integrated into the voice assistant, allowing you to process these requests through Siri rather than having to fire up the Shazam app. Number 10. iWatch integration in iOS 8. iOS 8 is believed to have strong ties with Apple's upcoming rumoured smartwatch, the iWatch, and the integration is believed to take place either with the Healthbook app or a dedicated iWatch app. This is yet to be confirmed, and I'll update this post when I find out more information pertaining to this subject. Number 11. Widgets in iOS 8 Control Center. This notion is by a long shot in concept phases, but implementing widgets in Control Center would be a treat for iOS users. The concept visualizes this in a great way. Number 12. iOS 8 on Android. Don't let the heading confuse you, but the Swift developers on Android have wasted no time in making a mock-up on how the iOS 8 lock screen would look like, and is available to download for any Android device in the form of iOS 8 for Android app. Number 13. iOS 8 concepts. Designers have always worked their magic when it comes to creating concepts for unreleased products, and iOS 8 is no different. With the different concepts reflecting what iOS 8 would or might end up looking like, one such iOS 8 concept cooked up by TechRadar is by far the best I've seen yet. It features a host of new changes and even imagines an iPhone 6 without the iconic home button. Number 14, quite strange, is iOS 8.1. Despite all the reports speculating that iOS 8 will bring with a lot of major changes, but a new report by 9to5Mac suggests that Apple will not jump the gun immediately in terms of changes. It's being suggested that Apple has already started work on iOS 8.1, which will be a major point update to iOS 8, just like how iOS 7.1 was over 7.0. Therefore, it's safe to say that at WWDC 2014, we might not see a host of new significant features and changes, and Apple might not hold them off till next year. Finally, number 15, iOS 8 beta release date and final launch. iOS 8 is expected to be announced at WWDC 2014 in early June, with the rollout sometime in fall. As ever, it's likely that the end user release will overlap with the announcement of a new iPhone, but with the first beta almost certain to roll out after WWDC, I'll soon have much better idea of what to expect from iOS 8 later on this year. And yeah, I'll be watching WWDC 2014, which is in June. I'll keep you updated on any information throughout and up to that date, and I'll also update you what is said by Apple or Samsung at WWDC 2014. Like my Facebook page, like my Twitter, well, follow me on Twitter, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you like my Facebook or follow me on Twitter, I'll be sure to give you a link to a stream of WWDC. And yeah, it's been CasualSavage here. Hope you've liked this video. Please subscribe, rate, and peace.